everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
Today we're taking a look at a game called Foundations of Metropolis. This is from Emerson Matsuuchi, Arcane Wonders. It is based on a big game called Foundations of Rome, which was produced in a very expensive, gigantic miniatures way. This is the more everyone can buy this version of it. And it is a city-building game in which you're all placing stuff in the same city, putting out buildings in the same city, and trying to score points. It is says 60 minutes. That seems pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's right.
1 hour game. And Joey, of all people, is going to show you how to play it.
Yes.
Okay, we are set up for a 4-player game of Foundations of Metropolis right now. Now, this is a 4-player game, like I said. This is going to be a quick overview. I'm not going to go through all the rules, just a quick kind of how to play the game. First off, it's played over 3 years, or 3 rounds, or 3 eras. And the whole thing is about prestige, or victory points here. You are going to pretty much build on your lots out here. It's a city-building game. Everyone gets one of these boards. I can't fit everything onto the screen here, so I'm going to have to have stuff off screen. I'm going to show you what each player is working with. All right, so these up here are lot markers you're going to see here, and these are the buildings you're going to place. And each one has an icon on there and a number that tells you about it. For instance, this right here is income. The dollars right here, this is population. And then some of these are going to score victory points or prestige, depending on what buildings surround them. So all those are marked on the building. So everybody has those in front of me. So here's what's going to happen. First off, everyone gets some lot cards to start off with, and you're going to get some coins. And you're going to mark the lots out here. So these are lots you already own. So as a purple player, here are the ones I own. Now, what you can do on your turn, it's very simple. There are 3 things, and what's nice is there is a turn guide that shows you exactly what you can do. First off, you can buy a deed, and that is buying one of these. So if I were to buy this one, that would cost me 2. Then I would take this, put it into my stack, and then I would take my lot marker right here and drop it on D4, denoting that I now own D4. All right, so that's one thing I can do. Also, I can then build or upgrade my lot. Now, what does that mean? Well, right here, I have got a few purple lots scattered around here. So any of these, I can build one of my buildings. Say I want to go ahead and build this. I will go ahead and remove this, put this back on my board, and right there, I have now just built my coffee shop right here. And you'll notice the coffee shop is going to bring up 1 income at the income face. All right, so now let's go into the income. You can choose to take income. Now, if you take income, you're going to get 5 coins plus anything else that gives you income. So that would be 5 plus 1, so I would get 6. So I would pull 6 income back to me. All right, so I can do one of those 3 things. Now, one thing to go back to constructed a building again is you can say you later bought the lot to B2 right here. Then on your build, if you decide to build, you could actually upgrade this from a 1 slot. For example, here, I could go ahead, take the coffee shop back, put it here, and go a little bit bigger and put a retail shop on there. All right, so you are able to upgrade as long as they go up in size. That'll also help you trying to get lots around the area, try to build bigger and bigger buildings. Okay, so you're going to continue that until everyone has buildings all across the board until you are going to run out of these cards. Now, when you do purchase a deed, for example here, everything's going to slide down and then it's going to be replenished. And you're going to keep going and going until all of these cards are gone. Once all these cards are gone, you're going to get to the end of year 1, and then you're going to score year 1. Now, how do you score that? First off, you're going to score your commercial buildings. And that is where you're going to actually get your incomes. You're going to get income yet again from the value of your buildings. You can look on the board or actually your player board. You'll notice here, you can actually see it right here. So what's nice is you're going to be able to look at your board and immediately at a glance, see what income you're going to get. And you're also going to get prestige equal to the value of your board. For example, take a look here, the retail shops. It's going to give me 1 coin and 2 prestige. So I will then move my marker up 2 for that one. And then you're also going to gain prestige for the civic buildings like I mentioned. Those are going to be buildings like these right here. And those are going to get prestige or victory points depending on what buildings are around them. This one likes to be around population. This one likes to be around other civic buildings and all of that. Then finally, population. Let's go into that for a bit. You're going to notice here, some of these guys don't make money, but they give population. You got 4, 2, 2. You got the big guy, 6, right here. So everyone is going to go again and look at their population and move their population up this population track right here. So say everyone, this is where everyone's population is. Say everybody ended up right here. So here's the way population is going to score you victory points. You're going to get victory points equal to the person in front of you. So say someone is, we've got purple right here, that is me. I am going to score, take a look, 9. I will score 9 prestige points or victory points. I put those on my tracker. Now what about the person first? 9. Well, that person is going to get that population bonus. For the first year, it is 4. So they have 9 plus 4. That would get them 13 victory points. All right, and you're going to continue through this through year 1, through year 2, and then year 3. You're going to score at the end of year 3. A couple of differences on the end of year 3 is the commercial buildings, because you don't need any money anymore. That money is going to turn into victory points, and you're also going to get points for your empty lots. You're going to get 1 prestige for each lot marker that you have on the board that you have not used. And then you're going to count it up, and whoever has the most prestige wins. So that is a quick overview of Foundations of Metropolis.
All right, let's talk about how the game looks and feels and component-wise. I am very impressed with the 2D trays. I'm a big fan. One thing I love about this game is you take the piece out, you put it on the board, and I never have to remember what that piece did for me. Yes. Because I can look and say, I have this much money, I'm getting an income phase, I have this much. My only complaint about quality would be I wish the cards were
thicker?
Like the
linen finish. I do.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I was very impressed with the quality.
Yeah, I love being able to look down and see, okay, I'm getting this population, this income, whatever, at a glance. And the fact that the trays, they don't move in there.
No, they don't.
Production quality is
great.
Absolutely. That, to me, is the most impressive thing, right? That it comes, you can, as soon as you pop off that top, you can just pass out the trays, and it's ready to go. It does it with I think the cardboard is very readable as well out on the board. For me, it is so easy to just look at the board state of what's going on at any given time, both in the middle of the board and also in your own area, because there are those buildings that depend on scoring for the stuff around it.
Right.
I find that to be very readable, especially with this particular, the way that it's all printed out on the cardboard. It looks great to me.
I agree. Now, game-wise, though, I mean, it's just, it's simple rule-wise, which I love, but the strategy in it just shifts a lot. You know, for me, I really love to just, watching that population, and you're like, I'm not going to worry about population until you get too far behind. Someone goes in front of you, you're like, guess I got to worry a little bit. You know?
But it's interesting because if you get one population, you can actually do better. So it's kind of weird. You want to be first in population, but I think third isn't bad either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, being able to score for where the people are in front of you makes this, like a lot of people would look at this and realize there's an interesting degree of interaction there where you have the choice sometimes to jump ahead of them, but you realize, okay, well, do I want to do that? Well, I want to do that if I can really jump ahead of them.
That's the thing. If I'm
to
really
supersede someone else.
Yeah. If I'm really far behind, it feels good to get those points. If I'm one behind, I'm like, oof, wish you would have gotten
That's what I'm saying. Third is good.
Third is good.
Yeah. You're like, oh, second and first are fighting. I'm getting points either way. And you're right. There's a lot of interaction in this. And it's very much, it's not mean, but there's definitely, if we're both next to B2, we both want that property. I have to sit there and go, do I pay 8 and take it now? Mm-hmm. Or I'll wait till it comes down a little bit. So that's interaction. And then the civic buildings and how they interact with the other things. I'm like, well, I do hope Joey builds that huge population building there because I'm going to just pop this next to it and score a lot of points. And then he sees me put the building in first. He's like, actually, that was a money building.
That's a big thing, especially year 3, that final round when you can switch those buildings out and upgrade them. You can totally remove some of those, like, I was counting this population being there for my scoring, and then you're just like, oh, I'm just kidding, it's a coffee shop, you know, or whatever, swapping those out.
Well, and there's a lot of tension as to when a round is going to end, right? Because especially in a 4-player game, you know, you see the dwindling amount of cards that are left at the end of the stack, and you're sitting there going, okay, I reasonably have 1, maybe 2 actions. And if everyone really slow rolls it and does a lot of construction near the end, you might have 3 or 4 turns go around shockingly. So I like that it's very player driven, and you have to kind of read those moments and say, how much can I do with the variable amount of time that's left, and how do I not do something so obvious that I'm setting up for a bigger move that everyone goes, oh, let's just end it before Chris gets that last turn. That's juicy to me.
It is, and for me too, I like the balance of like, I want to spend my income, but I also want to have it in case that card comes out. And then also balancing the fact that I don't like to hate draft, but there are certain points where like, I can't let you build that building. And it's like, I'm putting a fountain there or whatever, yeah, so.
This fits for me in a very good place. And do you like Ticket to Ride? Do you like that kind of games? This is the kind of game that I would bring out to people. But also, Joey and I played this with 2 world champions from the World Series of Board Gaming, and we're able to play it on a high level. Now, if you're going to play on a high level, you should use the optional rule, I think, at the beginning, where you draft the cards that come out. Although, I've only done that, I think, once.
Yeah.
And I never get that upset. Yes, you might have 3 buildings next to each other, but that can be overcome. I never felt like that was a thing. Like, I have all my stuff scattered. Don't worry. One of those plots coming out is going to allow me to put stuff. And I can put single buildings out and get some stuff pretty quickly.
There are good single buildings. That's important for a game like this, yeah.
Yeah.
I never felt like, when I play this game, I never feel like there's nothing to do.
Right.
The worst is I wanted to do something badly, but I can't. But there's never nothing to do. If nothing, you get income. And this game doesn't slow roll you on income. They're like, you're getting at least 5.
I agree.
I like that a lot.
And that's, you're just getting a lot. Near the end of the game, you want your income to be high enough so that you take it less.
Yeah.
But it's still fun action. You're like, this turn, money.
Yeah, $13 at once feels great. You don't have to take money for a while. It reminds me a little bit of the cadence of a game like Airlines Europe. A game maybe not a lot of people played, same designers, Ticket to Ride, but I love that, where you can do something that progresses your goals, or you can just take money. And that also is one of those things that kind of makes the end of the round a little bit tense. So someone takes money and you're like, yes, I guaranteed to get 2 actions this turn. Like, that whole cadence is wonderful in this.
The shining point for this is just like, it's such a simple, you got like 3 things you can do each time on your turn. It just moves, and you have as much strategy as you want. This game is just really great. It just flows.
What would you rate it?
I'm coming in at a 9 for this. I like it a lot. This is quick. This is one that I'll play with, like you said, gamers and non-gamers. Gamers at the highest level, or gamers that just they want to try something. This is great, and again, it comes out quick because of those trays. You pull it out, it looks good on the table. It's just these 3 things you can do. Let's do it. Let's build a city. I love it.
I would give this one 8.5. I think it's excellent as well. I think that players are going to feel a little bit of that randomness where they say, oh man, the lots didn't come out. I had these 2. I was waiting for the 1 kitty quarter to come out to make that 3. And that's just going to be the way that this game is, right? I appreciate that it is streamlined and quick, and so sometimes a little bit lucky, and that's fine. The game is not a 2.5-hour strategy game. This is one where you are taking advantage of things as they come out, deciding, am I going to pay $6 or $8 when it's really important to me? And those moments do come up where you are willing to pay that premium when a card first comes out and say, yep, that lot is mine. I think it's quick. I think it's very fun. I think the production is astonishingly good value. And it's a game that will hit the table.
Yeah.
So this is a Dice Tower Essentials game. It's in a Dice Tower Essentials game line I do with Arcane Wonders. So I obviously like it. I'm the one who brought them the game from Emerson, and it got developed a lot in between there. But I love this game. I'm giving it a 9.5. This is one of my favorite games. I've enjoyed it back when it was called Foundations of Rome, but I enjoy it here too. It's very basic, but it meets that criteria. There's very few games that I would just as well play with gamers who are playing a pretty hardcore gaming and people who've never played a game before. I just don't think there's a lot of games that fit that category. And this is one of them. It also has the grid. I love grids, the acquire.
Yep.
The tiles come, because every card is going to come out in this game too.
Yes.
So you're like, well, eventually D3 is going to come out. I should probably save some money now. And the 3 rounds, and the fact that when you take the last card off, it tells you this is how you score underneath the card.
Love that.
It's really easy to teach, and this is one of those games that every once in a while we do a top 10 games that should be in everyone's home. I would pick this one.
I would too.
I think this is a great game, and I'd recommend it to almost everybody.
I think it scales well at player experience and level. It also scales well at player count. So this does a lot of things really well.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Foundations of Metropolis. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
Have fun building the city.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.